Before we get too deep into the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. Okay, now that we got that out the way, let's talk about the character. Okay, GTA 6, your character type. That's right. We're going right into this. Let me tell you something. When you're gonna go on, okay, Grand Theft Auto 6, the type of character, almost your character is going to depend on what type of person you are. That's first and foremost. So now you're going to have to decide, do you want to be the type of character you are in real life, or do you want to become the character that you would like to be in real life? Oh, that is a tough one right there to decide. Okay, let's say that again. All right. Do you want to be the character that you are right now, who you are right now in the game, or do you want to be the person that you would like to be? All right. The character creation. The character creation on how this is going to go, and I believe this, man, it's going to get a lot more deep, that they may enhance. So if you ever played the campaign for Grand Theft Auto 5, you would know that everybody had their particular abilities. All right. So Franklin had the ability of his driving skills. I think Michael's was I think his was shooting. His shooting skills was really good. And Trevor's was Rampage. Okay. So now, if you look at how Grand Theft Auto is going to be, as far as how it's going to be when it comes to the heist, or even just your abilities in general for your crew, that you may be a person that, let's say for example, you may be the tech guy, you may be the shooter, the gunner, you may be the driver. You know, there's going to be abilities that your character may have to have and need for you to complete heists, that everybody's going to have a particular role for when they do the heist. So therefore, and that's going to bring a lot of people together, because if your friend that isn't on, and it's going to go through a whole like type of database thing, like God knows how big that may be, but it's going to go through a whole thing that it sends out a message out to all the tech, and this ability can be pretty much like risen, like it could be upgraded and you level up your ability. Therefore, you know, if you want to charge a lot for this service, if you charge a lot for your service because you're that good at being the hacker, then you can, where you have a higher success rate of, you know, it brings you the high success rate on completing the heist, or even just the time that you need to do the heist, that you maximize the full take that you could get from any heist, you know, or even just reconning, getting vehicles may be easier. You know, you could go ahead and get those fast cars, or even if you are the driver that gets the cars, you could probably get the mods and the things needed for the cars for a cheaper price. You could be the connect. You could go to certain areas to get that, and it goes so far with it that even being the gun person, that if you are the person that has to be the gunner, you could get the equipment that can't be traced. So like, how far do we know that with these abilities that we may have, we may not, if they even consider something like that? Because I think that would be something that would be really, really big, to bring back the abilities, that the characters had in the story mode to online, because we don't see none of that. We didn't have access to any type of abilities that you could utilize when you're online. Let's see if we could turn this volume down, man. What the heck? Hold on. Let's see if we could turn down the audio. of the game. There we go. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Where you can use some abilities on the online mode. And now with these videos, I'm gonna just go ahead and just say, you know, I'm recording on the PS5, and this is what the game is. You know, we're gonna play what the game is, because this is the reality of the game. Not everybody have PCs, and those that want to be content creators ain't gonna be able to out here just ball out and get the best equipment. So this is pretty much what a lot of people are gonna be doing. And this is the reality on how we're going to be playing. We're going to be playing on PS5. You're going to want to make content. We're going to want to play online and just have fun, you know. But not to get off tangent or anything like that, but that's the when it comes to, you know, the abilities, is that a thing? Do you think that they're going to bring back the abilities to be online? And nothing too crazy, though, that makes playing the game that much harder to play the game. You know, like, it doesn't want to be like OP, where it's like, because they don't want to tap into the watchdog type of gameplay. You want to gonna have the type of gameplay that when we go into these games, that the online experience is still a good experience to have to play when playing online with other people. Like these abilities may be only activated upon when you do heist. You know, I think that's going to probably be the way and the move on how that's going to go, because having some abilities, or even when you're trying to do the heist and stuff and preparing for the heist, that's probably when the main time, like, a lot of the abilities are going to be able to be used. It's not going to be able to be used, you know, straight up through just constantly throughout the game. And it might be, who knows, it might be that you may, and I think it'll probably be more so of these abilities to better your abilities. You will have to be able to play it throughout the game, but you have to do these through missions. You know, it's not going to be a thing that you just go ahead and just be cranking out these things casually. Like, you'll be doing these type of things when, you know, you have, let's say, picking locks. You know, every so often you have these small missions that you got to pick a lock to improve it. So your time may be increased, or, you know, you shoot out the lock and stuff like that, or however many ways that you got to do, but you almost got to practice that ability, you know, a lot. That's just how, and that's the reality of how life is that you got to practice to become good at some of these things. You know, it's not going to be a thing that you're just going to go ahead and, like, you want this ability and you're just going to be extraordinary good at that ability because you want that ability. So there's still, like, a thing that you still have to get your reps in on how, so you're still going to have to get your reps throughout that ability to get that ability up. You know, it's not going to just be handed to you at max level. You know, that would kind of ruin the fun of all the game, because then you have some people that's going to just be wanting to switch their ability, you know, altogether. Or you may be able to get multiple abilities, you know, and but if you do have multiple abilities to be able to use throughout the heists, so therefore you could be an all-around character, because, like, you can even see on Grand Theft Auto 5 that the attributes of the character that you have is an all-around, like, flying planes. Your characters are all around, all American OG. Like, can we look up the stats? Can we look up the stats on here? I don't know if we could look up. I'm pretty sure we could look up the stats some way. Where somebody blew up my oppressor. I wonder why I couldn't get in it. Oh! This mother. You asked for that, brother. You asked for that. But I think that's what it's going to be like. Because the characters that we have on here, the attributes, can we see it? Can we even see? We can't even see the attributes on here. But with the characters that we have on here, the attributes are almost all maxed out. That there have to be some type of balance of the abilities on how far you could take your character. That if you do want to be all around, it's not going to be as easy as this was. No way it's going to be able to be that easy. So there's going to be something that we're going to have to, well, not we, but Rockstar is going to have to do to balance out that ability balance. That everybody's just not out here going to be the all-around American heist genius. You know, you focus on one particular thing, and almost kind of like how Cyberpunk was. It was like, you know, with Cyberpunk, you wasn't able to get all your attributes up. You was able to be like whatever character you want to be as far as the tech person of hacking and hacking people, or being a brute force with strength and stuff like that. It's going to be that type of focus for the character. But let me know your thoughts. You think they're going to add some abilities? I think that would be pretty nice, where it brings everybody together, where you meet different people and you could call up on them. You know, you set your own percentage, or even, and that would balance out the percentage thing of how it is charged. Because even in here, when you run a heist on here, you get to set the percentage. But now the percentage is almost set amongst that person's ability of how good they are in that thing. So it's like the minimum of how good this person is, you can't go below that. So it almost predetermines a person's worth from their abilities. And that's how the reality is in this world, is that you go in and just straight up talk about it. You just go straight off of a person's ability of what it's like your resume. It's like your GTA resume. Let me know your thoughts, man. I'm going to check you out on the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.